Can I bite in his face out?
Where's your Halloween costume?
My neighbor. I live in Oklahoma.
Where's you live?
Well, we just ordered food from. My
My
neighbor, like the guy who lived below me, he was a young kid. He used to bake for me. She was kind of fat. I didn't have money one time, and she gave me purchase on here.
Oh, nice.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Week 8 of Big Pick 4, the NFL Sports Handicapping Show, where the NFL sports handicapping experts, Big Danny D and Big Brian B, will give you the best 4 picks for this Sunday's NFL games, to include the Big B guarantee and Big D guarantees. Okay, that's a good intro. Thank
He
you.
was supposed to wear this.
Okay.
Down a little bit.
No, I don't want to wear that. Okay, so we're coming off a big week. Coming off a big 4-0 week.
That's right, 4-0.
We can't get excited though.
So
We're still under 500.
Yeah, but 4-0 is better than 0-4.
That's true.
Nope.
It's not,
next week.
Yeah, no bags. We're
No
4-0.
bags.
no more bags this week, so that's a
Step up.
progress.
All the ladies,
Yeah.
all the ladies can see my beautiful face now.
Week 7 recap. And you had a 4-0 week.
Me and Dan were talking about last week, and basically what we came to talk about was it's not about the favorites. We think it's about matchups. Who matches up better? You know, like interdivision rivals.
Yeah.
There might be a high spread because a team has a better record, but because they're in division, they know the other team, and they might not cover the spread.
Sure.
I think that's what happened in the case of the Jets Patriots.
Yeah. it was
They
close
know
game.
each other. Rex Ryan knows how to scheme against the Patriots. So I think it's more about matchups than anything else. And also, we
Yeah.
decided we're not going to do any more research
Yeah,
until
that's
we lose.
right. I mean, the other
No
thing
more,
too
no more
was-
research until we lose.
In that Pittsburgh game, when I watched the game last Sunday, they had a statistic that Marvin Lewis is now 1-9 in Pittsburgh, in Cincinnati against Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
Well, that's research, isn't it?
No, that was after the fact. That was after the show. When I watched the football game, they had that. So it was
Well,
not
no,
research.
well, it kind of is, but our point is that in division rivals, everything goes out the window. It's matchups.
Yeah, it
Who
depends what you
matches up?
see.
Like Dan brought up last week that this isn't a statistic because he didn't use numbers, but Tampa Bay has a horrible pass defense, and he knew that Drew Brees has a good pass offense. I mean,
Yeah,
so
I
there's
mean,
no statistic there.
no,
It's just he knew gut-wise that
and
he
he-
thought Drew Brees was going to throw all
Yeah,
over.
and I thought
he did throw
And I
all
thought the
over.
Saints could win by 3 or a touchdown. It's only a
Yeah.
1-point spread. If it was a 9-point spread, I'm not going to take that matchup because it could be that gets a little hairy.
And I think also we didn't use any stats, but we used gut when Dan brought up the fact that the Packers were coming off a big win against Houston, and he felt they were just on the way up.
Yeah,
And
St. Louis is in trouble.
right.
And they won by 10, so that was good. We covered everything. We had a great week.
Anyway, so that's our new strategy: no research
Yeah.
until we lose.
There's no room here. You gotta get another chair. So the recap now. We're getting closer to coming back to 500. So it looks like the Big D guarantee is still strong at 5-2. Big B still has some recovery to do.
The Big O still has some recovery too.
That's right.
3-4.
That's right, folks. Vote for bet on the Big D.
No! Boo!
Okay, so we're going to try to go for another 4-0 week here on the Big Pick 4. And as always, we'll start our show out with the Big Danny D Badge of the Week.
All right, my Badge of the Week is Cam Newton, who cried basically after the game when he talked to the reporters. I mean, well, first of all, he was wearing this really ridiculous sweater. He looked absolutely.
Dan has been obsessed about the sweater. All
I mean,
week.
this thing it looked like they killed an animal and just wrapped it around him. It was an awful sweater, and it was in Charlotte. And I think it was like 80 degrees that day. So I don't know what this guy is thinking with that. And he wears this big brown thing. He looks like a bear or something into his press conference, where he proceeds to throw everybody under the bus: his teammates, his coaches, everybody.
And then he won a suggestion box.
Yeah, right. He's like, maybe we should suggest how to fix this. He just
Yeah.
throws everyone.
Yeah, he's like, oh, hey, you media guys.
He doesn't do what a quarterback should do and take responsibility for himself for the team, because the quarterback should be the leader of the team. And, that's what he should do. And instead he goes, well, maybe the coaches don't know what they're doing, or maybe the offensive line doesn't know what they're doing. So because he threw his team under the bus, instead of being a man and taking responsibility as a quarterback, and secondary because of that sweater, he's the badge of the week.
Can I make an honorary on top? Can I
Yes.
honorary badge? Warren Moon said the reason that people are going against Cam Newton is because he's black.
Oh,
Because
that's
I'm
ridiculous.
gonna call Warren Moon honorary badge of the week. Oh, it's because he's black. No, it's because he's pouting
He's
and
been
whining.
awful, and he's
Right.
whining. And during the bye week, he spent the bye week playing video games and screwing around.
Right.
Instead of studying
Play.
meeting with his teammates,
What do you think Peyton
and trying
Manning?
to figure out what's going
Peyton Manning
on.
would be watching every game film from
Yeah.
1975.
He's trying to figure out what's going wrong. How can we improve things as a team leader? And he's not.
Yeah.
He's really shown his true colors this season after having a mirage season seemingly last year. So
So that's
he gets a
that's
big
good
badge
one.
of the week this week.
So
Well, Warren Moon is trying to revive that. What
Race
that
card.
little spurt. Well, he had a little spurt of fame because there was a Limbaugh comment that got Limbaugh kicked off of sports commentating.
McNabb. That was actually McNabb.
Oh, that was about McNabb.
Yeah,
Okay.
He said the media was
Yeah.
desirous to have a black quarterback be
He's
successful. Yeah.
But it is ridiculous that Moon said that. I think that's absolutely ridiculous. It's nothing to him being black. He's throwing his team on the bus.
Yeah, I know.
Dude, Jay Cutler got killed in the media when he pushed his lineman and threw his team under the bus.
And this also is not a racist comment, but did you hear on the was it Thursday Night Football, the interview with RG3?
No.
And the woman says, well, what do you think about all these signs around D.C., RG3 for president? And then he laughed. He laughed and he says, he's just doing his job. But then afterwards he says, yes, but, after my NFL career, that might be a real possibility. That RG3 is going to become president of the United States after his NFL career.
Yeah, you never know, man.
He said that with a dead straight
Hey,
face,
Bill
too.
Bradley was
Bill
a
Bradley,
basketball player, senator.
J.C. Watts. What's that guy up in Seattle?
Wasn't there
receiver.
a Buffalo quarterback?
No. Oh, yeah, Jack
Oh,
Kemp.
yeah, the Buffalo
Jack-
quarterback.
And
Jack
the,
Kemp was a senator.
What's that guy's name? The all-time leading receiver for the Seattle Seahawks.
Oh, Steve Largent.
Steve Largent.
Okay, let's have our first combined pick, Big Dan.
All right, the first pick this week, we're taking it's Seattle at Detroit. We're taking Detroit -1. Seattle doesn't play as well on the road as they do at home. They have an excellent home field advantage, but they're playing on the road. They're going over to Detroit. It's a 1:00 game on Sunday, which I think is obviously advantage for Detroit. Detroit beat the Eagles. They played okay against the Bears, not great, but it's a home game. And I just felt the spread is low enough and to go with it, even though Seattle might be a better team. But I feel Detroit can win this game. Because they are home. They haven't been home for a little while. Their defense played better last week, so I think they'll be able to control, what's his name, the little guy from Russell Wilson. Because after facing Cutler and Vick and some other guys the past few weeks, I believe they should have success against him. Their defensive line's playing better. I believe they'll be able to bat down a lot of passes because Wilson's a short guy. And Seattle's offense doesn't really scare anybody. And Stafford has to get in gear at some point. It's kind of ridiculous what he's done so far this season. So because of the spread, because Detroit's at home, and Seattle's traveled a long way, I believe Detroit will be able to cover a 1-point spread in this game.
Like that spread, man.
Yeah.
Like that spread. Keep them at -1, baby.
What's Seahawks record-wise? They're not bottom basement. I mean, they're still a contender, right?
Yeah.
They're 3-3 or 3-2. I don't know, something like that. They're not terrible, but they're not
They don't
world
play,
beaters
they just,
either.
They just don't play that well on the road. They're at home. They're
At
unbelievable.
home, they're on the road. The only
They're-
road win they have is against what they're called, Carolina, who stinks.
Yeah, that's their only road win. And the Carolinas, pathetic.
So and it's only
So there you have it. Go ahead.
it's only a 1-point spread. You know,
Yeah.
I believe Detroit could win by 3, 7, whatever. It's going to be a close game.
Their defensive line's been playing really well. Last couple games, Dominican Sue,
Yeah,
Fairley.
They finally woke up.
Yeah, Fairley. Yeah, he finally fucking woke up. I mean, they've been getting pressure from the front four
And
without
they
even
did
blitzing. and
they've
shit.
done a good job stopping the run too.
Yeah.
And you know, Marshawn Lynch is the main guy there in Seattle, and they might be. I think they're gonna be able to control him.
Stop the run. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean they held LaShawn McCoy to 22 yards rushing.
Yeah, and they didn't give
So-
up a lot against the Bears either.
No, they
I
didn't.
think Bush
Their
or-
defensive line and linebackers played
so.
much better lately. So if Stafford can get his act together, they should be able to win this game.
And what was the what's your thoughts on Detroit's play last Sunday?
They played well. I mean, it wasn't the defense played well.
Well, they turned the ball. I mean,
They did. They had a chance to win that game. They should have won that game.
The Bears got forced like what, 3 fumbles?
Yeah,
Three
I mean
forced-
they had all these turnovers. They had a turnover in the red zone. They
Yeah.
gave it to some jackass to run it in, and he fumbled.
Yeah.
And they scored that touchdown. They win that game, 14-13.
Yeah. At Chicago.
At Chicago.
Which is
Definitely. So I thought
Yeah, but doesn't a high school player know that you know, goal line stand, you don't jump over the line with the ball extended out at your fingertip?
Scott, we get
Aren't you just kind of handing it to the other
Yeah, we'll
team?
give it some
Yeah, I
semantics.
know. It was a
How many
stupid
guys
play,
do it all the
but
time? Guys jump over the pile all the
but
time.
it was dumb. But still, I mean,
You know who made it famous? Walter Payton. Never, and did he ever fumble the ball?
no, I don't think so.
No, there's a difference between jumping over the pile and jumping on to the pile with
All
the
you
ball
gotta do is
extended out
the
at
ball
your fingertips.
cross
Wait a minute.
that white line.
Are
though.
we already having a discussion about piles here?
Hey,
The Seattle is not the Bears, you know, and it's a home game.
Yeah.
You know, they're playing in Canada this week, so you know. They should.
oh, they're playing in Canada?
Well, Detroit, Canada, it's kind of the same thing.
Yeah, you should know, right?
It's the only major city in the country where you can actually look south on the Canada.
That is true. That's a fact. I actually
Yeah.
heard that the other day on TV.
Yeah. So
When Scott lived there, so
yeah, it's half Canadian.
Scott's
Right.
Mandy is.
All right,
Right.
so one's in the books. Last week we had the theory that said that all we had to do was look for covers greater than 10 and jump on the underdog. I didn't see us doing that this week.
I
From-
tried.
Fix.
I mentioned it earlier, but Dan didn't like that. I mentioned the Jaguars.
I
Packers
know that game scares me though. I just don't
There's
know.
No Gabbert.
No, Gabbert's going to play, but they have no Maurice Jones-Drew. Their offense isn't very good. Their defense isn't very good.
I thought about it, Scott.
Green Bay is on a roll. I was just afraid that could be a push game because the line went down from 16 to 14.5. It's right there in the middle ground where it could happen or it could not happen. I just felt like it was too high of a spread, whereas the spread was closer to 10. Like, you know, or even that we could have taken the Chicago-Carolina game where it's only 9. Or maybe take Carolina because that's a possibility where it could be a close enough game. But I mean, I don't trust Jacksonville. I mean, I think it could be a blowout or maybe it is close. I don't know. I just thought the spread was too big.
I
could
thought
go either
about it. I
way.
definitely.
Because
I told.
You two have been burnt by Jacksonville twice
That's
so
what
far
I
Yeah.
said to him.
yeah.
this season.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why I was gonna pick Jacksonville. But he
I don't know. I don't do it because I'm saying because the spreads were low. If it was 10, maybe we could take in Jacksonville. But 14 is right on the cusp where they could be. And we'll get a push. I just didn't like it. I didn't like that spread. If it was 10, I think we definitely should go Jacksonville. But I didn't like it. I thought it was a bad pick. Even though I know what you mean about this team's not covering.
Yeah.
But Aaron Rodgers has played great the last couple weeks.
But Dan always hates when I bring up that with 5 minutes to go, the garbage touchdown. Let's say that it's
It
a
just
14
doesn't- it just doesn't
spread,
happen
right?
very often.
It does happen.
It doesn't. It really does not happen.
Well, that's Scott's opinion. Scott, when teams are up, right? Let's say they're up by 14
This just
or
doesn't
16.
happen. It does not happen.
Wait,
I
let me
know,
ask
but
Scott's
your
opinion.
scenario is
Can I
ridiculous.
ask Scott's opinion?
Absolutely ridiculous.
If they're up by 16,
Teams don't do this.
right? It happens all the time.
It doesn't. It
because
doesn't.
they want to save injuries.
No,
they-
it's absolutely wrong because teams know.
I've watched it.
I understand.
They benched their starters.
They don't do that because if a team scores quickly, then they get that onside kick, they can make it a game again. And if they're only down 7 or something, it doesn't happen. You don't see that happening.
You see garbage touchdowns all the time.
It's pretty rare. As I said
Scott,
before,
have you seen a garbage
before
touchdown
the
before?
show, I actually watch more NFL football than this man does. And
Dan is just saying that a garbage touchdown, but probably not with that'll get them back within a one-score game.
It just doesn't happen because
if they're ahead by 4 touchdowns, you might see
yes.
one,
but
maybe not if they're only ahead by like 13.
No, but that's a more viable reason. Like if they're up by
That's what I'm
20, if
saying.
they're up by 21, and then they score a touchdown at the end of the game,
Right, that's what
it's
I'm
only
saying.
14.
It's only that's what I'm
That's
saying.
what I'm saying. That's a scary spread.
Well, but then we would win because we were betting on Jacksonville. It was 14.5. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
I know, but
the garbage touchdown.
It just doesn't happen that often. And the spread at the time was 16.5.
Well, now it's 14.5. But if Green Bay wins by 14, we would win.
We
would win.
Green Bay beat what do you call it? The Texans by 35 or something.
But I think the Texans were kind of sleeping.
And they defeated a game St. Louis team on the road by 10. They covered that spread easily. Now they have to go home playing better. And they haven't played great at home. I think they would like to put on a show at home against a bad team. I just didn't think that spread was great. And I don't understand why you're even talking about this game.
Well, we'll have that.
It doesn't matter.
But we should
If Jacksonville,
in the future, we should.
No, I mean that Jets pick last week was a good pick.
Right.
But Jacksonville covers.
But it's more reasonable spread of 10.
Well, he could have made it his big B if he wanted to.
Sure.
If he was that sure
That's
about it.
also not a that was not a divisional game. Too, which I think.
If Jacksonville covers, the argument's going to start all over again.
Yeah. Well.
So hopefully Green Bay will pull them out.
That's a chance that you take, even though, I think we took a little bit of the risk with the New England game.
But it worked out though.
No, this one.
Oh, this week.
Yeah, which I think we need to get to.
All right, I'll do my the second combined.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's have it.
All right, second combined pick will be New England -7. The game is actually in London. They're playing St. Louis. I didn't do any analysis, but over the past few years, New England's done very well in London. They've beaten up they've played a couple times and they've won by a couple touchdowns. New England, they only won by 3 points, but they played a tough game. St. Louis, they lost last week to the Packers by 10 points. Aaron Rodgers he had
He was 20 for 30 for 335
yards. So I think Brady will be able to throw on the St. Louis defense, and I don't see St. Louis scoring that many, being able to keep up with New England. So for all those reasons, I think New England's going to cover the spread. I think they'll win by 10.
Amendola's injured.
Yeah.
Steven Jackson plays part of the game, but not the whole game. He hasn't played very well this year. Yeah, New England, and Bill Belichick knows what he's doing.
Yeah. And this isn't really, it's St. Louis. If it was at St. Louis, I might be a little concerned. But because it's a neutral site, there's no home field advantage. And New England's played well the last couple of times they went to London.
This is a big game for the Patriots.
Yeah.
If they want to maintain a lead or even get a greater lead in their division.
Right.
This is important for them.
So for all those reasons, choose New England -7.
All right, so there you have it. Your two combined picks being Detroit and New England. All right, going for the big 4-0. And as always, ladies and gentlemen, a word from this week's Big Pick 4 sponsor.
Rien ne vaut un Rio.
Si de Rio. Souriez, c'est Rio.
Oh, poor guy.
All right, so we're back with
Again, take 4.
Take 4 with the guaranteed picks, beginning with your big Danny D guarantee for Week 8 NFL.
All right, my guarantee pick is the Giants -1 at Dallas. There's just something about the Giants. I don't know what it is, but Eli Manning has these miracle plays. I mean, they really need Greg Lewis on the team because he was good for like 2 or 3 miracle plays a year. The things just happen for them and they win games. Like that play last week with Victor Cruz catching that long touchdown pass because the Redskins are in the wrong defense and they score a winning touchdown, which should never have happened. They should have had a safety all the way down the end towards the end of the field, this deep, to try to stop that from happening, and they didn't. They just win. I don't know what it is, but they win. They win when they're not supposed to win. They win games that they shouldn't win. It's amazing. I don't know how they do it, but there's just something about Eli Manning and that team. And quite honestly, the Cowboys have not played that great. They should have lost last week if Cam Newton had a brain. The Carolina should have won that game.
Yeah.
Dallas has not played very well. DeMarco Murray's out.
Yeah.
Felix Jones is questionable. What was his name?
Yeah.
I don't know if Des Bryant's going to play. He got hurt at the end of that game last week. Tony Romo's an idiot. He turns the ball over as much as Vic does. And because of that, I'm taking the Giants. I know the Giants defense hasn't played great. I know their offensive line's a little banged up, but it doesn't seem to matter. They win anyway. And it's only a 1-point spread. You know, they're a road favorite. There's a reason for that.
Yeah, Vegas knows something.
The Cowboys stink.
Yeah, there's hardly ever a road
Romo, I mean, I think Romo and Garrett both going to be run out of town on a rail after the season's over. They're both gone. Jerry's not going to take it anymore. Eli Manning's the best quarterback, maybe in the NFC. I don't know. He's right up there with Aaron Rodgers. So because of that, the Giants are a better team. They're better coached. They're a better quarterback. I think the Giants are going to win this game.
Now, if you want to crown them, then crown their ass.
So there you have it, your first guarantee from the 5-2 Big Danny D guru.
That's right.
That's right. Coming off week 7 being the piece of shit, now he's back to being the guru of the squad.
That's right. I was number 2.
But he still he still has his bag on hand in case it's ever needed again. He hasn't destroyed it.
That's right.
That's right. That's a reminder of where you come from. Don't forget where you come from.
That's right. I still got the bag.
That's right.
Yeah, look what the Buru did to his bag.
I'm still gonna wear it though.
Still gonna wear it.
I'm still gonna wear it proudly, baby. Hey, I was.
Oh, so before we have the big B guarantee, happy belated birthday.
Thank you,
brother Brian.
Yeah,
weren't you out
happy
celebrating
50th.
tonight?
Yeah, we went to McGill's bar to celebrate BK's birthday.
Like 7 or 8 of us.
Which was one of 12 celebrations this week for his birthday.
No, Ryan took me out on my birthday, and then this, and so I don't know, 12. That's a lot, Dan.
It's about 4.
No, I guess
he got 3 lunch. He got 3 lunches, and he got a happy hour today. That's 4 celebrations for a man's 32nd birthday.
Hey, why don't we talk about how Dan managed to weasel away with $13 extra? Hey, Dan, huh? Why don't you tell the audience how you, yeah? You Jew.
Yeah, he left a little bit too much money at the bar for the waitress. I felt a $25 tip was enough. She gave me $38. You know,
that's going in the bank account.
I mean, come on, it was a $93 bill, and we left for $25. That's a pretty good tip. That's 30%. So she made out pretty well. She did a good job too.
That's fair.
Yeah, it is fair. She did a good job too. She made $25 for bringing 2 pitchers of beer. So.
Dan, you should have seen the gleam in his eyes, though, Scott.
Oh, yeah.
He saw that 13. He's like, woo! The money, the dollar bills went in his eyes. Cha-ching,
well, the
cha-ching.
funny thing was, Brian asked me, what's that bill that has a 0 next to it? Because he'd never seen a 10 before.
Bravo.
Yes, touche.
Yes.
So you're how old now? 50?
Yeah, 50. It's been a rough life.
50.
No children yet. Still waiting. Still waiting for that lucky woman.
Yeah.
Aren't you getting beyond your childbearing years now?
No, I'm not a woman. I don't have a biological clock.
All right. So, well, that's not counting all the children you fathered as a sperm donor. I don't know if I'm supposed to let that cat out of the bag, but every time the woman goes in there with the big catalog, she's like, "I'll pick this one."
Because I just lie about my statistics. Lawyer, 6'2".
Yeah, right. Genius.
Yeah.
Fundamental.
Yeah, exactly. Runs a 4.2 40.
Yeah, and then getting some dopey kid.
He does what he does on
Runs
his
into a
Facebook.
wall. Why
Yeah,
does this kid
right.
keep
Puts a
running
picture
into
of Johnny Cash up.
Yeah, they get some kid who needs a
Like,
helmet.
wow. No, the women are like, wow, I didn't know Johnny Cash donated sperm. And yet
Yeah.
that's what Brian does on his Facebook.
Yeah, they have a bunch
Yeah.
of kids who wear helmets and need to ride the short bus.
Hey, I'm honoring Johnny Cash. All right, I'm honoring Johnny Cash by putting his face on my Facebook.
Yeah, he's one of many faces on Brian's arm.
Dan has an imagination. He thinks I have like 10 tattoos of man crushes.
Yeah, Johnny Cash,
So where are
Brian
these-
Lafferty,
So where are these? Are this like invisible
Vin Diesel,
tattoos I have?
Steven Seagal, Sylvester Stallone, Arnold Schwarzenegger. I don't know who else.
The only man crush I know Dan has is Charles Bronson.
No,
Dan is obsessed.
No, not Charles
with
Bronson.
Charles Bronson.
no, Ed Hockley.
No, Ed Hockley, Charles Bronson. Every time I come to this kid's house, he's watching a fucking Charles Bronson movie, Death Wish 27, where they go after his illegitimate child
Yeah, right.
in Ohio.
Today we watched part of Mr. Majestic, which is a great movie. About a melon.
I just like when Bronson says to the kid, he's wearing a cross.
Yeah.
He says, "Do you believe in Jesus?"
Yeah, you're about to meet him.
Yes, I do. You're about to meet him.
Yeah, I love that line.
Dan always says that line at work, too.
Yeah, I have that movie. That movie's on demand this month. You can watch it after the show. Hey, son, do you believe in Jesus? Yeah, well, you're about to meet him. And he shoots the guy.
So cheesy.
That's almost as good as,
So cheesy.
remember I said I'd kill you last? I lied.
What's that from?
Arnold Schwarzenegger or something. Terminator or something.
Oh, I thought it was Conan the Barbarian.
Oh, that could be too.
I don't know. Whatever.
All right, guarantee, Big B.
All right, the big B guarantee for week number 8 is let's take the Jets at home -1. Like we're not doing any analysis. I'm not looking anything up. I'm going a lot by last week. They played the Patriots tough. They actually almost won. They just look a lot better. They're playing at home. They beat the Dolphins at Miami last time by 3 points. Their team just look like they're playing well the last couple of weeks. I think their momentum is going up. They might use Tebow a little more this week as a running back. I don't know. It seems like, ever since they had the injuries, they've kind of come together as a team. Ever since Revis went out and Santonio Holmes, I think other players have stepped up and played better. And I think Rex Ryan's going to have a good scheme this week against a rookie quarterback, Tannehill. He knows how to blitz and stuff. Basically, for all those reasons, I would pick the Jets. I think they're going to win I see them winning by at least a field goal. I see them winning like 20-17.
Yeah, they won the first game in overtime by a field goal, so
Yeah.
they'll cover again.
And this time they're at home.
And they're at home. In the last division game they played at home against Buffalo, they destroyed them.
Right. Home is a bit like, another thing that when you reassess our horrible first 6 weeks of the season, I think you really have to look at home teams because they really do. And I think of all the 4 major sports, I think football is the #1 home field advantage.
Well, for a few years, it didn't work out that way. But for some reason this year, the home teams are winning a lot more games than they used to.
Because we've gotten burnt a lot this year by bad teams, but they were playing at home, inspired, and they won.
When we picked
Or they covered the spread.
Like when we picked the Colts to beat the Jets.
Yeah.
The Jets blew them out by like 40.
And the week that we picked Baltimore to go into Kansas City, win by more than 4 points, and they only won by 3.
Yeah, because they didn't play well.
They played it at Kansas City.
By the way, in the future, any road game that Baltimore's going on, we need to pick against the Ravens.
Baltimore, yeah. They're a bad road team.
They're a terrible road team.
But I think at home really does, and I think of all the 4 sports, I think home really means something in football. Hockey, sometimes basketball. Baseball, I don't even think home field matters at all. I really don't.
Because you play 1,000 games in baseball.
Yeah. But I think football, home field makes a difference. I really do.
Well, does it make a difference that Tebow was rated the most, or was voted the most overrated player by his peers?
They don't use him anyway.
I think they're
He's
talking
terrible.
this week on watching NFL Network, and they actually have a goal line package for him this week.
Yeah.
No, but
No,
hey,
no, hey, actually,
Jets-
that's what he should be used for. He's not good anywhere else. He can't throw.
no, the Jets are potentially or intentionally embarrassing him. I mean, do you see the play they ran twice? They put him in running back with Sanchez under center. Then Sanchez shifts out to the wing. They shotgun it to Tebow, and he just runs straight ahead.
He got like 4 yards though, but that's near the goal line
Then
though.
they did the exact same play again, and then he lost yardage or got barely back to the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, but the thing with
I mean,
Tebow,
what kind of play is?
yeah, but with
Who are you fooling? Oh,
You know what
Sanchez.
they should do with him?
shifts out
They need to
to
make
center. Who are you fooling? You're not fooling
they need to
anybody.
make him an H-back. Where he can either carry the ball or gets the ball thrown to him. He's not a very good quarterback. He doesn't have those kind of skills, but he could be an H-back. He's kind of a big guy. Could be a good target in the red zone. Could be like a fullback kind of guy.
But I think also you got to use him. He should be able to throw like, even if you're flipping the ball to him as a running back, he could be
Yeah.
in the backfield and throw a pass.
Yeah, once
He
in a
can
while.
still throw
He's
better
a
than most
terrible-
running backs though.
I don't know about that.
Better than most running
His
backs.
completion percentage is awful. His quarterback rating is awful. His interception to touchdown ratio is awful. His mechanics are terrible.
But I'm
don't
just
trust
saying
him.
you can use him as a
He
weapon.
could, but I think it'd be more valuable if he was actually able to catch the ball and maybe even run it once in a while. He'd be better. He could play better that way. He's not a quarterback. He can't play the position. You need to complete like 60% of your passes, and he can't do that.
Yeah.
He just has the total inability to do that.
So there you have it for your big B. Pick your Jets. I just have a new segment at the end of the show, which is the Big O shocker of the week. Something I came up with myself.
Well, you're taking our shocker.
No, but did you see the receiver on Pittsburgh when the what was it? It was I don't know. Pass it to the receiver, and then the receiver throws it to what was it? Number 20,
Yeah, that guy.
and a throwback, and he's wide open.
Yeah.
There's no one around, and the ball comes right to him, and his hands don't even touch the
Yeah,
ball.
yeah, I saw that play. Brian probably missed that game, but yeah, there was the back tossed it to the receiver. The receiver was in the backfield, and he
Yeah.
threw the ball to the running back, Baron Batch, I think his name is.
He's all alone. Okay, there's no one within 20
The
yards.
sideline. He could have just caught it, even turned and caught it, and turned around and ran. He would have scored a touchdown, and he totally botched the whole play.
He had his hands out,
Yeah, like
and the ball didn't hit either one of his hands.
no. And it was a perfect pass. The guy floated it up there.
It was a perfect pass.
Yeah, that was dumb.
That's
Yeah,
pretty
yeah,
funny.
yeah.
Dude, this is the NFL, folks. You
You're
know.
watching cartoons instead of the games.
right.
All right, so let's have our Week 8 man violation from the Big P.
The Week 8 man violation goes out to a certain coworker who shall remain nameless. His name is Greg Foy. This tonight is going to a all male poetry reading. It is a man violation, and he's not getting laid. He's voluntarily. We have discussed earlier that if you are, whatever you're doing, if you're trying to get laid, it's okay. If you're watching a girly flick, that's fine. If you're going to a poetry reading with your girlfriend and she asks you to or makes you, that's allowed. But if you voluntarily go to a poetry reading as a man, I'm calling you out. Flag. That's a man violation. So that is my Week 8, a man violation.
Oh, so now all his man violations are related to men reading poetry. Next week it's going to be if you're a man and you write a poem, unless it's to get laid, then that's a man violation, right?
It's poetry related. Hey, if you are a man and you enjoy writing poetry for the sake of poetry, then that's a man violation. But if you're trying to get in a girl's pants,
So you've committed this violation yourself.
I wrote poetry not for fun. I've never. I mean,
Someone told me that you wrote poetry.
no. This is what happened in the office. They said I wrote Ruth a poem, but I actually went online and got a Shakespeare poem as a joke, and I gave her one. I printed out a poem. I did not write it.
Okay, I did not hear the story.
I printed it out. I hit the print button.
Okay. Hey, I didn't
As
know.
a hobby, I do not write poetry.
As I said, I didn't hear I didn't know the story, so. All right.
So there you have it. Your Week 8 picks are in. We're trying to duplicate the secret sauce from last week, which brought the 4-0 knockout blow, which made the Big O pick much easier on a 4-0. You know,
Yeah.
if the Big O becomes a lock at that point, so. Or I could have my arrow pointing into outer space. That would mean that I don't agree with any of your picks.
That's a possibility.
Yeah,
That's a possibility.
Possible.
So if I do that and I win, then that means I get a W, right?
Well, we'd have to go on 4 though again for you to win.
Yeah.
Right. So I'm looking for consistencies. All underdogs, slim covers. Patriots being a big cover. We're not believing in the Rams. Giants can play on the road. Patriots can play on the road. I mean, I think we're looking pretty good.
Well, wait. Let's remind the viewers that they're not really on the road. Both teams are playing in London. I mean, it says they're at St. Louis,
Yeah.
but that's not true. They're in London.
Yeah, it's neutral site.
It's a neutral site. And
What's the London game this week?
New England at the Rams is in London.
Yeah.
Why?
Oh, I don't know.
I don't know, because the NFL decides to have these damn games in London. They're going to have 2 next year.
Yeah, that's right.
Minnesota is going to play a game in London, and Jacksonville is going to play a
right.
game in London.
What are we going to have? The Super Bowl is going to be the Thrilla in Manila or something? What?
Yeah. Super Bowl is going to be in Shanghai.
Yeah, isn't the Super Bowl going to be outdoors in the
20,
MetLife this year?
2014, I think.
Yeah, it's gonna be like.
You
20
could get
degrees
nearly any kind of weather that day. Anything could happen. It could be
14 degrees.
It could be 20 degrees. It could be 50 degrees. It could be raining. It could be snowing. It could be windy. It could be anything. You could get.
It could be Hurricane Sandy.
Yeah, right. Oh, that's coming next week.
Well, no, that's out of hurricane season, but.
I mean, you could get nearly any kind of weather that day. It's absolutely crazy the NFL is doing that.
Well, but they're saying that's not the first cold weather Super Bowl, right?
I think it is. I mean, there's some cool. Well, no,
yeah. What
it
was
is.
the Super Bowl #1 with the Packers and who was it? The Chiefs? Who was it? Super Bowl 1.
I thought that was in New Orleans.
Yeah.
Was it?
Yeah.
It's only
was
the
all
NFL championship games back in the day were in cold weather. They played some in Green Bay. The Frozen Tundra game was an NFL championship game. It was not a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
The closest one, I guess, was Jacksonville. I don't think that was that great.
Yeah, that was in 50 degrees.
Yeah, it wasn't. I remember the guys went there to that game. They're like, we might as well stay in Philadelphia. The weather's the same.
Yeah, it was the same that week.
Yeah, it was like, ugh. So I guess that one. But other than that, they've all played it either in warm weather or inside.
Yeah, you've never had to factor in the weather for your Super Bowl picks
No.
until
Well,
2012, 13, I guess it'll be by then,
it'll be
right?
the 2014, February 2014.
Oh, I thought it was this Super Bowl.
No, this one's gonna be in New Orleans.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I'm a year out. Okay.
Yeah. After David Stern retired with his knockout period, the Super Bowl will be the next week.
Fantastic. So, ladies and gentlemen, as always, find somewhere where you can exchange food stamps for cash.
Or you could be like Dan and just not tip the waiter or waitress.
No, that's you. Where, 0 times 0 is 0.
All pockets is 13.
Yeah, right. Yes, you got $25. That's probably more money than you made today.
No, you don't have to leave a monetary tip as long as you write some type of verbal tip on the...
Like, don't eat yellow snow.
No, I thought wasn't there one recently like lose a couple,
No, this waitress.
stand, lose a few. That was a tip.
The waitress didn't need to lose
That would be
any
like a Brian tip to the waitress.
She was all right. She didn't need to lose any weight.
In the tip line, he writes, "You could stand to lose a few."
No, Brian just doesn't leave a tip at all.
All right, let's
He got a meal for free at Applebee's after his punch card. He punched like 6 meals and you get a free meal. He went there. He got the free meal.
And didn't tip.
He didn't tip the waitress because he said 0 times 0 is 0. It said leaving order like $3 or $4 just for the effort. He just left the restaurant.
Dan,
Well, you do the math. I mean, 0 times 0 is
it's
0.
zero.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, he should have left her like $3. I mean, come on, that's for the effort. You have to give her a lot of money.
And she's
Like
still
the
telling that
rational?
story to this day.
She's still looking for him. They
Still
killed
telling
him.
this story.
I was a waiter. I got stiffed so many times.
Oh, that's good rationale.
It is.
Oh,
I had
yeah.
a guy.
Oh,
on,
because
I, had
I got
a
kicked in the
guy-
balls, so I'm gonna go kick this guy in the balls.
I had a
That
guy
makes a lot
on
of
a
sense.
$60 bill leave me $1 on a $60.
Oh, he probably
bill.
deserved it. You were his waiter. That's why he didn't spill it all over him. Oh, sorry, sir. I'll get you another one, sir.
So we're coming into another 4-0 week. So as always, go out, bet big, and
Score with Big Pick 4.
Big Pick 4. And that, hey, isn't that how Oprah would say it? Big Pick 4. Isn't that like an Oprah thing?